long-standing residents are pushed out. There also needs to be initiatives to ensure long-standing residents can afford to stay in their homes. Councilmember Hudson's district has seen a 20% decline in the black population over the last decade. Uncoordinated development also creates economic pressure on local businesses through rising commercial rents. It strains local It strains local public resources such as parks, schools, buses, subway stations, and can overwhelm local infrastructure. This is why back in December of 2022, this council, under the leadership of Speaker Adrian E. Adams, released planning and land use guidelines to focus on the city's land use process on the need for comprehensive planning. Councilmember Hudson and the Department of City Planning have been working hard to finalize a community-driven comprehensive plan where the individual development proposal is located. This part of Brooklyn has had no less than 8 individual development rezonings between 2018 and 2022, creating over 2,000 residential units. Such uncoordinated development establishes a comprehensive plan is needed. If comprehensive plans such as the one that is underway are not prioritized over individual private proposals, our city will grow increasingly unaffordable, congested, and less livable. The bottom line is that New York City is an extremely complicated ecosystem that needs to be properly planned and managed. And this is exactly what Aim Up is trying to achieve. We heard at the public hearing that this project should be approved because it is going to bring much needed affordable housing to this neighborhood. No one is disputing that. This neighborhood needs affordable housing. First of all, affordable housing is exactly what the comprehensive plan is seeking to achieve by planning for over 1,200 affordable units. The development site that we are discussing today is in the area that the comprehensive plan is intended to rezone to residential. So today's vote is not about foregoing housing because this site will be rezoned for residential use as a part of the larger comprehensive plan. Second, affordable housing is critical but cannot be developed in a vacuum. Residents need access to services, access to public transportation, need to be able to cross safely major thoroughfares such as Atlantic Avenue. Providing actual housing is only half the equation. You need to also plan for this housing. Today's vote is about maintaining the integrity of the city's planning process. There's a adverse comprehensive plan for this very neighborhood underway that is scheduled to be finalized and voted by the end of the year. An individual project should not be allowed to sidestep this public planning process to pursue its own private interests. Until the comprehensive plan is finalized, we do not know for sure whether this individual proposal will be consistent with either the vision for this neighborhood or the intended capacity. This developer needs to wait in line. The city, in partnership with local community and Councilmember Hudson, is finalizing a comprehensive plan that will allow this very development site to be redeveloped for housing. Let us rezone this development site as part of the ongoing comprehensive plan in a few short months and protect the integrity of the city's planning process. I would now like to turn the floor over to Councilmember Hudson to further explain why she supports disapproving this proposal at the present time and rezoning this development site at the part of the larger comprehensive plan.
Thank you, Chair Riley. You covered many of the reasons why I do not support this application. To begin with, I want to emphasize that disapproving this project is not a vote against housing and new development. The comprehensive plan that I've been working on with my community and the Department of City Planning will create over 4,200 apartments, and the applicant's property will be rezoned as part of this initiative. So the plan is fundamentally a pro-housing strategy that is focused on providing my community sorely needed affordable housing. In my view, it is much more effective to focus on an overall plan that is going to provide over 1,200 affordable homes than allowing individual projects to spring up here and there in an uncoordinated, unplanned way. My comprehensive approach to the neighborhood will allow the very people who make this neighborhood so special to stay, raise families, and have access to fair wage jobs, schools, and open space. The second point that needs to be emphasized is that I am fully committed to finalizing this comprehensive plan, and we are well underway to making the plan a reality. As I detailed during my remarks at the public hearing, we have put a lot of work into this plan. The applicant claimed during the public hearing that the planning for this neighborhood has dragged on for years and that they should not be made to wait any longer, which I find to be disingenuous. I entered office in January 2022. In March 2022, I wrote a letter to the Department of City Planning asserting that a comprehensive plan for this area of my district could no longer wait and needed to be completed. In April of 2022, DCP responded to my letter recognizing the need for a comprehensive plan and stated that it would partner with me to complete the plan. We proceeded to select a community engagement facilitator, and in January of 2023, we began the public engagement process. This critical engagement culminated this past summer in a report that sets out the community's vision and priorities. Based on this report, DCP issued a draft zoning proposal in September of 2023. In October, DCP started the required environmental review process for the plan with the stated objective of officially certifying the proposed rezoning into ULURP later this year. We've achieved all of this in just 2 years, and we are closing in on the last step of this planning process, or ULURP. So from my perspective, my office, along with DCP, have been very effective in developing this comprehensive plan, and the applicant should wait until its property is rezoned as part of the plan later this year. The other argument the applicant made at the hearing that I would like to address is that the proposed development project is consistent with the draft rezoning proposal, and therefore the applicant's proposal should be approved. This is a presumptuous argument to make. Planning is an iterative, community-driven process. Although we are far along in finalizing the comprehensive plan, the process is not done. The applicant is effectively trying to cut short this process and lock in its development project. In the coming months, DCP will certify a proposed final plan that the community and I will review and formally vote on. During this final review, the community and myself may modify the plan. Until the community and this council votes on a final plan, the applicant cannot state with certainty that its proposal will be consistent with the comprehensive planning for this area. Again, I see no reason why a private applicant should be able to cut short the ongoing planning process. The last point I would like to make is that my position should not come as a surprise to the applicant. I've been very consistent from the start of this comprehensive planning process that the piecemeal redevelopment of this area cannot continue. In my letter to DCP back in March of 2022, I specifically requested a neighborhood plan to stop the piecemeal development of my district. I reiterated this position in 2022 at a public hearing regarding 2 private developments before the neighborhood plan was formally launched. I also stated my position as part of the community engagement after the launch of the plan and at a number of in-person working group sessions that the applicant attended. In fact, a community board member, Gib Vacconi, stated at a CB8 meeting that, quote, "It is true that the council member has stated that it's not preferable to have additional private applications," end quote. The bottom line is that this applicant has known about my position since the moment it brought the project to my attention. In conclusion, I do not support this proposal because we are in the midst of finalizing a comprehensive plan for this area, and the public's interest in making sure that the public review process is not cut off short and that the applicant's project is actually consistent with the finalized comprehensive plan that outweighs the applicant's private interests. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Hudson. For the reasons that Councilmember Hudson and I just explained, I recommend the disapproval of LU 6, 7, and 8 regarding 962 Pacific Avenue. Moving on to the other proposals that we are voting on today, starting with the Whitestone Lanes, we will vote to approve with modifications LUs 1 and 2 in Councilmember Ung's district in Queens. This proposal will rezone an existing M1-1 manufacturing district to a residential district R7A to develop a residential building with approximately 415 apartments. This rezoning will also involve mapping mandatory inclusionary housing, which will require approximately 113 of the units to be affordable units. The modification is to add the deep affordability option, which will require 20% of the units to be affordable to households, making 40% of the AMI or below. Councilmember Ung supports this rezoning proposal based on the proposed modifications. Today, we will also vote to approve LUs 3, 4, and 5 regarding the 2226 3rd Avenue in Councilmember Ayala's district in Manhattan. This proposal seeks to use a 10-story building into a life science center. The application consists of a rezoning on the part of the development site that is currently zoned for residential use only. The rezoning would be from an R7B to a C4-6, which is the zoning district for the rest of the site. The application also seeks a text amendment to map mandatory inclusionary housing and extend the East Harlem Corridor Special District to include the proposed center. Lastly, the application seeks a special permit to reduce the number of required load-in berths. Councilmember Ayala supports this rezoning proposal. The fourth and final vote is to approve LUs 9 and 10 regarding 166-11 91st Street Avenue, special permit in Councilmember Williams' district. The special permit requested will waive the height requirement that applies to narrow lots in the special downtown Jamaica district. The special permit will allow applicant to develop a mixed-use building with 28 apartments on this narrow lot. The proposal includes mapping mandatory inclusionary housing over the development site. Councilmember Williams supports the rezoning proposal. Members of the subcommittee, if you have any questions or remarks about today's items, you can let me know now. Council, are there any members who have any questions regarding these items that I mentioned today?
Not that I am aware of. Does Councilmember Moyo have any questions?
No.
Thank you. I now call for a vote to approve with modifications LUs 1 and 2 relating to the Whitestone Lanes rezoning, to approve LUs 3, 4, and 5 relating to 2226 3rd Avenue proposal, to disapprove LUs 6, 7, and 8 relating to 962 Pacific Street rezoning, and to approve LUs 9 and 10 relating to the 166-11 91st Street Avenue special permit. Council, please call the roll.
Chair Riley,
Aye.
Councilmember Moyo,
I vote aye.
Councilmember Shulman,
Aye.
Councilmember Salam,
I vote aye.
Councilmember Carr.
I know.
Thank you. We have 5 votes in the affirmative for all the proposals.
Thank you, Council. That concludes today's business. I would like to thank the members of the public, my colleagues, subcommittee council, land use, and other council staff, and the Sergeant at Arms for participating in today's meeting. This meeting is hereby adjourned. Thank you.